Good afternoon and welcome to Greg Mitchell Field inside Volney C. Ashford Stadium on the College of Missouri, or the campus of Missouri Valley College. I'm Chaz Matty bringing you Missouri Valley College men's lacrosse. It's senior day as the Vikings host the Ottawa Braves out of Kansas. This is a conference game in the KCAC. Both teams are unbeaten. Both teams played in the championship and the conference tournament finals a year ago before Missouri Valley won and went on to the national tournament before ending up being the national runner-up. It's a windy day, getting a little cloudy now. Sun was shining a bit earlier. Clouds are rolling in. Both coaches stressed the wind would be a bit of a factor, but not a great one, as the wind is coming out of the south, moving to north. It's swirling a little bit in the stands. But the coach for Ottawa, A.J. Stevens, stressed short passes and precision passes on offense, while Kevin Totaro, the head coach of Missouri Valley College, stressed the importance of communication along the sidelines and some difficulty there screaming into the wind. As we mentioned before, it is senior day. Missouri Valley College has 3 seniors it's going to honor before we start the proceedings of the game. The first one that is coming up will be number 1, Greg Ferrone, who's a senior midfielder out of Orlando, Florida. And Greg has been with the program since its inception. This is the 4th year of Missouri Valley College lacrosse. Greg was part of that first class that helped introduce lacrosse to the Viking culture, and he is walking up to midfield. The second senior honored today will be number 23, Brendan Gallagher, a senior from Geneva, Illinois. But right now, they're honoring number 51, Eric Peterson. Peterson joined the program in 2015, which was the second season of Missouri Valley College lacrosse. He is a defenseman out of Port Orchard, Washington. So congratulations to Eric Peterson here on Senior Day. Pictures being taken now at midfield. We mentioned 2 seniors, all 4 years spent with the program. And here comes Greg Ferrone across the field. Ferrone is an exercise science major, again from Orlando, Florida. Ferrone is one of the stalwarts on the offensive end for this Viking team. He comes into today's game with 32 goals and 8 assists and has had a fantastic career for the Missouri Valley College Vikings, part of that first class, which was instrumental in getting the program going, and it really has taken off quite a bit since. So Ferrone, 32 goals, 8 assists in this, his final game at Missouri Valley College. And again, they're arranging for pictures. And the other senior, number 23, Brendan Gallagher. He's a midfielder out of Geneva, Illinois. And Gallagher is on the season for Brendan Gallagher. Has 4 goals, 6 assists, and 11 games played. So the 3 seniors, Greg Ferrone, Brendan Gallagher. Gallagher, again, one of the part of that first class, which has helped Missouri Valley College lacrosse come to NAIA prominence. This program has been successful from the get-go, and with the guidance of Kevin Totaro, and then leaders like Greg Ferrone and Brendan Gallagher, and then for 3 years, Eric Peterson, the program has been quite successful. They're going to line up for the anthem. I will take this moment. Andrew Legg, 4th senior defenseman out of Vancouver, Washington. Legg, also part of the trajectory of this program. Legg notched his first goal of the season. He's a defenseman, doesn't cross the midfield stripe very often. Caught us by surprise the other night, in which he managed to get a goal, and I don't know anyone knew where the ball was except for a few of the players on the Missouri Valley College offense. Legg, Ferrone, Peterson, and Gallagher, the seniors for Missouri Valley College. We're going to take a 1-minute break. We'll come back with the starting lineups and some sponsor information. You're watching Missouri Valley College Lacrosse on the Viking Sports Network. Good credit on hand for senior day at Missouri Valley College. We'll go through the starting lineups quickly. First for the visiting Ottawa Braves men lacrosse team in black shirts, gold numerals, gold shorts, and gold helmets. Number 1, a senior defenseman from Baltimore, Maryland, Kyle Beard. Number 4, a sophomore midfielder from Magnolia, Texas, Xavier Nero. Number 9, a freshman attacker from Overland Park, Kansas. Number 9, Colin Scheckinger. Number 10, Carson Davis is the goalkeeper out of Scottsdale, Arizona. We'll talk about him more in a couple seconds. Number 13, Sammy Ford, a senior defenseman from Kansas City, Kansas. Number 14, Christian Abenis, a sophomore defenseman out of Lorton, Virginia. Number 24, Matt Chichura, freshman midfielder out of Overland Park, Kansas. Number 25, Alex Linder, senior midfielder out of Albany, New York. Number 91, Pearson Willis. We'll mention his name several times today, probably. A sophomore attacker out of Surrey, British Columbia. And number 97, sophomore attacker out of Vancouver, British Columbia, Damon Prince. For the Missouri Valley Vikings lacrosse team, number 1, Greg Ferrone, the senior out of Orlando, Florida, celebrating his final game at Missouri Valley College today. Number 3, Jake Berg, a junior faceoff specialist from Snohomish, Washington. Number 9, Andrew Legg, the senior out of Vancouver, Washington. He's a defenseman. Number 18, Matt Heinzerling, a junior defenseman out of Farmington, Minnesota. Number 20, Dan Block, a junior midi out of Farmington, Minnesota. Number 21, Tyler Wilkinson. After missing the St. Ambrose game the other night, he's back in the starting lineup for the Vikings. He's a freshman attacker out of Driftwood, Texas. Number 22, Jack Smith, a sophomore out of Austin, Texas, on the attack. Number 23, Brendan Gallagher, a senior midi out of Geneva, Illinois. Number 28, Alex Albrecht, the junior defenseman out of Farmington, Minnesota. And in net for the Vikings, number 33, Austin DeGrosse, a freshman goalkeeper out of Apopka, Florida. The teams are at midfield, exchanging some pleasantries, and they will line up and go their ways to their other ends in just a moment. The Ottawa team comes in with a 6-4 record officially. A couple of those losses are to NCAA teams, so more or less at 6-2. But more importantly for the Braves, a 3-0 mark in the Kansas Collegiate Athletic Conference. Their latest game was on the 7th, so 8 days ago. That was a 13-5 win at home against St. Ambrose. The leading scorers for the Braves, number 91, Pearson Willis, 35 goals in the season, along with 11 assists with 46 total points. Number 8, Aiden Baker, who's from Vancouver, British Columbia, also has 28 goals and 5 assists. He rotates in off the bench. Number 97, Damon Prince, 19 and 9, and then Alex Linder at 17 and 9. Those are the 4 leading goal scorers for the Braves, and we are underway. Jake Berg throws the ball back, and it's not quite kicked around a little bit. Block hacking at it, still on the ground and out of bounds. And it goes to Missouri Valley. Valley in the white uniforms, orange numerals, purple stripes, white hats, and it rolls down. Ferrone tries to keep it alive, and will, as it's a wholesale change for Valley in terms of personnel. Ferrone, Wilkinson back behind the net. Jack Smith doesn't get it quite cleanly, and he'll get it to Ryan Barnes. Now up top to Owen Sorobi, a junior out of Winnipeg. Sorobi now to Barnes. Barnes will run to the V, and Valley will set up its offensive attack. Possession time, a crucial opponent for the Vikings, as that pass is not handled cleanly by Carson Brzezinski. Brzezinski trying to get around a couple defenders. That pass for Ferrone. Tip. Ferrone, a shot, and kicked aside by Carson Davis. Braves coach A.J. Stevens is very high on Davis. He says one of the best goalkeepers in the nation. He's a sophomore out of Scottsdale, Arizona, is Davis. And here come the Braves. On the attack with the ball now is number 25, Alex Linder. And he'll feed it across to Baker. Behind the net now. Right side for Willis. Comes now left, back to Linder. And they'll work around the top of what amounts to the women's 12-meter arc. That plays no part in the men's game, but that's what they're basically running around. And Linder has it. And he is going to work around Dan Block. Block trying to knock it free, does not. Linder maintains control, goes left goal line. There's a pass right in front and a shot that's just wide. May have gotten a piece of DeGross's foot. Coach Kevin Totaro said this is a very offensive-minded team, one of the more offensive-minded teams the Vikings have faced this season. There's a shot, and it hit off DeGross's shoulder. He didn't know where it was momentarily, but he picks it up in a long outlet pass to Dan Block. Block gets around Linder once, twice, and we'll get it ahead to Ferrone. One of the things Kevin Totaro said in terms of prepping for this very offensive-minded Ottawa team is the more shots DeGross sees, oftentimes the better he gets. Here's Barnes. Barnes tries to bounce it home, and it goes high and wide. And chasing it out is Sammy Ford, the senior out of Kansas City, Kansas, and it will be Ottawa ball. Davis has it. And he'll still march it forward. Long pass, and he finds a cutting Ryan Alley. Alley can't get it through. Willis hacking at it. There's Andrew Legg. And whistle from across the field and behind the play, and it goes over to Missouri Valley. Barnes running across the field, now goes right side, feeds Sorobi. Sorobi slides in, he shoots, he scores! Owen Sorobi looked for a seam, went high to the left side, just under the elbow, and at 11-17, Missouri Valley notches its first goal of the game, and it comes from Owen Sorobi. For Sorobi, who came into the game with 32 goals, now notches number 33, and it's a 1-0 game. And for Missouri Valley, that is the team lead. There's fantastic balanced scoring, fantastic depth for this Viking offense. And Sorobi and Barnes now have 33 goals apiece to lead the Vikings. As I mentioned earlier, Greg Ferrone with 32. Carson Brzezinski has 27. Here's a shot from Brendan Gallagher that's tipped aside wide and taken momentarily by Kyle Beard. On the ground still, flipped up by Albrecht. And that is Brzezinski with it behind the net. Brzezinski looking for Ferrone. Ferrone will come down below the goal line and help out Brzezinski. Works around a pick from Wilkinson. Wilkinson goes left side. That's deflected away by Davis. But Barnes has it. Barnes up top to Sorobi. Over to Jack Smith. Now right goal line for Ferrone. Back behind the net slightly for Wilkinson. Back to Ferrone. Sorobi is going to run to, well, not quite to the V, but he works it around back to Barnes, attacking from the left side. Barnes tries grounding one home and doesn't. It's kicked aside by Davis. Barnes to Wilkinson, now back to Barnes, and Barnes will stay behind the net momentarily. He's being checked. There's a shot. Score! Jack Smith goes low to the left side, and it's 2-0 Valley. 9:54 first quarter. Jack Smith missed the first few games of the season with a little bit of a knee injury, and since coming back has been a force offensively for the Vikings. That's for him on the season, goal number 16. Smith has 20 assists on the season, so a total of now 36 points. And Smith's return really has sparked the Viking offense. One of the things Kevin Sotaro says about Jack Smith is he has great field vision, great field IQ, and so his vision and intelligence on the field helps. That pass is intercepted by Jake Berg. Berg feeds it to Ferrone. Ferrone gets it down below to Smith. Smith being guarded by Christian Abenis. Gets it to Ferrone. Ferrone and Beard work on each other as a pair of number ones. Man up on each other. Barnes. There's a shot and a score! Tyler Wilkinson took the pass, took a couple of crow hops, and he fired it by Carson Davis. And in short order, it's 3-0. Ottawa needs a timeout, and they're going to take it. 9:21 to play, first quarter. 3 very quick goals by the Vikings. In fact, it's 3 goals in a minute 56.
Scored by number 21, Tyler Wilkinson.
And for Wilkinson, goal number 18 on the season. Ottawa is trying to catch its breath. We'll do the same. You're watching Missouri Valley College Lacrosse on the Viking Sports Network. Three nothing the score. Of a chance while we have this break in the action, I will go through a little bit of protocol that I should have taken care of at the start of the cast. I want to remind people this broadcast is copyrighted by the Mass Communications Department of the Communications, Humanities, and Human Services Division of Missouri Valley College for the private use of our audience. Any retransmission or other use of the content of this broadcast with the express written consent of Missouri Valley College is prohibited. And a special thanks to Marshall, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram for providing transportation to Ken Kiava, the voice of the Vikings, and Joe All, especially during football and basketball seasons, as they bring you Missouri Valley College football and men's, women's basketball across the Heart of America Athletic Conference. This is a Kansas Collegiate Athletic Conference game, a KCAC game. Both teams coming in unbeaten in conference play as Gallagher working, and he'll shoot and he'll score. Senior day, Brendan Gallagher knocks it home. The man from Geneva, Illinois, makes it a 4-0 game. And on the clock, 10 seconds expired after the last goal from Wilkinson. So Brendan Gallagher worked his way around Xavier Nero and flung it past Carson Davis. And back to the center X, and Jake Berg is one of the best in the nation at faceoffs, and he basically shovels that between his legs to Dan Block, and Berg will get it. And he'll race forward and hand it off to Jack Smith. Berg staying on the field. Usually he runs off for a replacement, and now he will head off as Smith works it behind the net for Ferrone. And a high pass, lobbed out front. Here comes Wilkinson being checked from behind. Still couldn't do it, and that shot is saved by Davis. Ryan Alley came from the substitution area and came onto the field, and Wilkinson, I'm kind of surprised, got anything on that shot at all because it was being back checked. As Wilkinson just kind of rolls it out to Sorobi. So 4 goals, 4 different scores for this Valley team. Sorobi, he'll charge forward to that right side. He shoots, and I think they got a piece of the stick or the post. Smith with it. Smith, and a pass that wasn't handled cleanly by Brzezinski. Still on the ground. Smith scooping for it. No one knows quite where it is. Smith and Linder go looking for it, but it's picked up by Tyler Wilkinson just before it rolls out of bounds. Around Linder. Wilkinson running around the crease. Gets a nice little check. And that is Nero and Smith. And kicked ahead by Nero and kicked out of bounds. It's a very quick start for the Vikings going into this wind, as that's Aaron Longley who gets double teamed, loses the puck briefly. Barnes a shot, and then Sorobi fires it almost across the street. It was high and wide as Brzezinski brings it back in. Back to Smith up top, now right side for Barnes. Barnes being watched by Alex Linder, and Barnes will go toward the V and then start the offense. Linder forcing him left. Barnes tries spinning around. Barnes to Ferrone. Ferrone a couple steps, but he's guarded by Kyle Beard. Beard trying to knock it free, gets it to Sorobi. Sorobi to Barnes. Barnes hands it back to Sorobi. Sorobi, a little juke, and he's working on number 16, Ryan Alley. That shot goes wide. Longley to Barnes. He shoots and scores. Ryan Barnes at 6:31 makes it a 5-0 game. And for Barnes, goal number 34 on the season. As he and Sorobi, the two leading scorers of this team, go marching off, and it's a 5-0 Viking lead here just more than a little bit past midway point of the first quarter. Berg against Chichura, and Berg with a violation. Chichura goes off. Berg stays on. It will be Brave ball. Braves had a chance early, and when it was still scoreless, and really haven't had much offensive presence since that first initial rush. Linder with it, now to Scheckinger. Left side now, that is Pearson Willis, their leading scorer. Andrew Legg bothering him. Legg, the senior. Legg, ooh. It went to a knee, Legg swung over him. There's a penalty flag coming down. There's a shot off the post. And it ricochets all the way back out to center. It's touched by Brzezinski, and a penalty coming up against Valley as Legg will go off. And Valley will be a man down. Andrew Legg takes the penalty. The Braves, with an extra man on the season, 5 of 42, including an 0 for 5 mark in the first quarter of play. So we'll see what the Braves can do with the man advantage. Linder, left side to Alley, back to Linder, looking for a pick, and that ball is taken by Willis. Willis to Linder. There's a shot. That's high off the post. And out. Pierce with it, left side. There's a shot, and he scores. Alex Linder, the senior from Albany, gets the Braves on the board. And at 4:58, the Ottawa Braves notch their first goal. And for Linder, that is goal number 18 on the season. And it's now 5-1, a 4-goal differential. So Jake Berg, an All-American face-off specialist a year ago, all likelihood will repeat that this season. Very strong face-off candidate, or face-off person against Matt Chichura. Berg fighting for it on the ground. Smith jostling for position, but the ground ball is picked up by number 8, Aiden Baker. Baker with it. Baker gets dumped by Jake Berg. Flags, there's laundry all over the field. And Berg is going to go off, and so as soon as the Braves take advantage of one man-up opportunity, the Vikings hand them another. And so the goal by Linder was the first man advantage goal this season for the Braves in the first quarter. Linder's with it now. And they'll work it left side for Damon Pierce. Back up top to Linder, over to Willis. Willis, a shot saved by DeGrosse, and Albrecht picks it up. Albrecht forward now to Gallagher. Nope, that's not Gallagher. That is Dan Block. And Albrecht back with it over to 21, Tyler Wilkinson. Wilkinson leaves it for Barnes. Barnes. Hands it off to Sorobi. Sorobi is going to run that right side, and he's being watched by Ryan Alley. Sorobi, a shot off the elbow. That got by Davis, but drew the iron, and it kicked it aside. That's Jack Smith. Smith tried going to the center, couldn't do it. Now feeds it back left for Ryan Barnes. Barnes tries bouncing one home, and that's turned away by Davis. Smith, though, picks it up, using a screen from Barnes. Looking for a cutter, finds Wilkinson, who fires it wide left. And Valley maintains possession. Barnes with 3 minutes on the clock. Working behind the net. Everyone's kind of in front. There's a party in front of the crease. Gets it back to Smith. Smith looking for a cutter, couldn't find it, and it goes out of bounds, and the ball will go over to Ottawa. I think it was Ferrone he was trying to hit. Linder knocked to the ground, and the ball is scooped up by Smith, and the third penalty the Vikings are going to take here in the first quarter, 2:37, and that is Carson Brzezinski, who will take a knee on the far side. So far, the Braves 1 for 2 with a man advantage. Willis, the right side, feeds a long pass over across the field to Prince. Linder to Prince. Back to Linder. Finds a cutter in front, shoots and scores. Colin Scheckinger, the freshman out of Overland Park, makes it 5-2, and there's a little bit of a momentum shift here at Greg Mitchell Field. The first 5 tallied by the Vikings, and with 2:12 left in the first quarter, it's Scheckinger who gets the Braves their second goal, both coming with a man up. And so we'll have to watch how that progresses. If Valley keeps putting itself in a short-handed situation, it could spell some trouble. Valley on its penalty kill usually is pretty good, but so far allowed 2 on 3 attempts today as Gallagher tries shooting it, and it goes wide, but the ball stays with Valley. And Wilkinson to start play. Barnes didn't get it cleanly, but has it. 2 defenders on him, now 3 defenders, and he'll hand it off. Here's a shot from Smith that's caught by Davis, and a save there with the big trap. And now the ball will go up the right side. Sorobi trying to force the action out of bounds, and does. Sorobi to Barnes. Over to Ferrone. Beery coming out to check him. Behind the net, there's Wilkinson. Wilkinson has Brzezinski flashing in front, but 3 people collapse on him. There's a shot and a score. Same kind of play. Wilkinson stepped away and then came darting right back. Brzezinski stepped away and came darting right back. And Carson Brzezinski gets his goal. It's back to a 4-goal lead. And so at 1:14, it's Brzezinski with goal number 28 on the season. The junior out of Edmonton, Alberta. Wilkinson on the assist. 6-2 is the score. And Tyler Wollenberg in to take the face-off. And there's a massive Humanity almost colliding, but Gallagher comes away with it. Gallagher, it's 1-on-none for a second. Here's a pass and a score. No one was in front of him, and he fed Tyler Wilkinson in the back door, and Wilkinson one-timed it home, and just like that, Valley gets back-to-back goals inside of 14 seconds. And the lead is back to 5. Wilkinson gets his second of the game, 19th on the season. And once Gallagher got clear of the traffic that almost collided about the 30-yard line on the football field, there was really no one except for Davis between Gallagher and the net, and Wilkinson was all alone at the back door. Wollenberg gets knocked over by Chichura, and Valley will have it. That's Luke Burridge who ran it forward, and Burridge will get back onside. Sorobi, right goal line extended for Ferrone, back to Sorobi, now out to Jairus Villarreal, first time I've called his name, over to Longley. Sorobi rushes back, and Brandon Rice will come forward onside. Smith to Longley, now low pass for Villarreal to Rice. Rice back to the logo. He'll charge forward, looking for traffic in front. Rice gets his stick checked away by number 8, Aiden Baker. Valley maintains possession. There's a shot, and he scores! Carson Brzezinski took the feed from Greg Ferrone with .6 left on the clock. 0.6 of a second left before the end of the first quarter. So officially 1 second left on the clock, but Brzezinski gets his second goal of the game and 29th on the season. And it's now 8-2 Valley. And now to the face-off area. It's still Wollenberg in there for the draw. And it's thrown back. The siren sounds. We've played one quarter, an eventful quarter. 10 goals combined between the two teams. A very brisk period so far, but it's 8-2 Valley. You're watching Missouri Valley College Men's Lacrosse on the Viking Sports Network. It's an 8-2 game. There's a penalty marker on the field. I'm not quite sure why, just a little bit south of midfield, as the referee wearing number 42 is speaking with, it looks like Gallagher. So they'll change ends. Running over the first quarter stats, shots on goal, Missouri Valley with 22 shots, or 22 shots just total. Ottawa with 8. Ground balls, Valley with 7, and Ottawa with 2. Ottawa had 2 turnovers, Valley had none. Saves by period, Ottawa with 7, Missouri Valley with 3. penalties, leg, and Berg and Brzezinski all went off. Again, Ottawa with both its goals coming on the power play, man advantage for the Braves. In terms of scoring, it was Sorobi opening it up at 10:50, Smith at 9:31, Wilkinson at 8:50, Gallagher at 8:39, Barnes at 6:13. Then Ottawa got its two at 5 minutes from Linder and 2:05 from Scheckinger as he shoots and scores. And that's their leading scorer, Pearson Willis, a sophomore out of Surrey, British Columbia. And it's now an 8-3 game. That took 18 seconds off the clock. So Pearson Willis gets goal number 36 on the season. And this is one of the things that Kevin Tataro talked about. Good offensive scoring for this Braves team. And they knew it was going to be a challenge defensively for the Vikings here today. So Willis, number 36, his first of the game, and it's 8-3 now, as that's, I believe, Berg back in the face-off circle. And it is, but the ground ball is taken by Xavier Nero. And Nero goes off, and coming on is 16, Ryan Alley. Ball is left side. Now up top to Linder, left side, back to Linder. Over to Prince, who shoots, and a save by DeGrosse. Damon Prince let it fire. DeGrosse was there. And DeGrosse now will wait. And that's Ryan Barnes who came back for it. DeGrosse running forward. Barnes runs it and hands it to Alex Albrecht. Albrecht gets checked from behind. Albrecht picks it up, finds a shot, scores! That's Tyler Wilkinson, who took the little tap feed from Alex Albrecht and rifled it by Carson Davis. The Vikings get the goal right back. It's now 9-3. And for Wilkinson, the hat trick at 13:40 of the second.
Goal scored by number 21, Tyler Wilkinson. And assisted by number 28, Alex Albrecht.
It was a handy little play as the ball was knocked free from behind. And the coaches are having a meeting across the way. A.J. Stevens, the coach of the Braves, and Kevin Tataro, the coach of the Vikings, have a discussion with the ref. So once it was knocked free, Albrecht just kind of tapped it forward. Smith caught it, turned, fired, and it beat Davis. And it's 9-3 now, and Stevens still in the ear of the referees, and now they're having a discussion on the far sideline, just to the left of the Ottawa bench, as you're watching here on the live stream. Now the refs are going to the table. They're talking with Kevin Tataro now. Carson Brzezinski is kneeling in the penalty area. And at the scorer's table, and the conversation now is with Tataro to the left of the scorer's table on the broadcast view. And there's questions about the bench. Tataro points out to the field. Heads back to the gator behind the bench. Now Stevens is off the Ottawa bench. Tataro's on the phone. I was trying to call the score box. Possibly 9-3 the score. Now both refs are talking to Brzezinski. Oh, the first quarter? Yeah, it was. 1 second. All right, so there's a check of the scoring going on. The question was who scored the last goal of the first quarter. That was Carson Brzezinski with 0.6 of a second. I'm not sure why. There was a question 1 minute and 20 seconds into the second quarter. And now the referees are discussing it across the way on the 50. Now there's a question of the score. The official stats in my hand in front of me, and I can go through the goals. Sorobi 1-0. Smith from Barnes 2-0. Wilkinson from Barnes 3-0. Gallagher from Block 4-0. Barnes from Longley 5-0 for Ottawa. Linder from Alley 5-1. Scheckinger from Linder 5-2. Brzezinski from Wilkinson 6-2. Wilkinson from Gallagher 7-2. Brzezinski from Ferrone 8-2 is the scoring, and the ref with number 77 was back talking to both coaches. Stevens still doesn't look like he's necessarily pleased with the way the conversation's going. But it's Brzezinski in the box. Taro talking to him right now. This period, this quarter, Ottawa, Willis with a goal, and then Wilkinson just a matter of, well, now, several minutes ago to make the score 9-3. As Berg wins the control back the block, Berg with it, uses the ref as a screen, falls on the 41-yard line, still has the ball. I'm not sure it doesn't have the ball, and it's Abenis that comes away with it. Abenis out to Willis, who shoots, and right in front on the doorstep is Colin Scheckinger, and he bounces it home. And for Scheckinger, his second goal of the game, and at 13-19, Ottawa makes it a 9-4 ball game. Back to the face-off, X. And Berg and Chichura, and it's scooped forward by Block. Block has some room. And they're going to, Vikings call timeout. So while we have this break, I'll pass along some scores from other Missouri Valley College action. The Vikings scored 4 runs in the second, and lead Baker. Well, that was the last update I have. Leading Baker 4-1, heading into the third. That was some time ago, so let's see what's new with that game. They won game 1, 13-6 of the doubleheader. Softball took game 2 over Culver Stockton 2-1 and swept the doubleheader. And earlier today, on this field, the women's lacrosse team fell to Ottawa 11-7 on their final regular season game for the lady women's lacrosse team. (9-4) is the score, 13:04. The second quarter's kind of started like a herd of turtles. Not very quickly. For as brisk as the first quarter was, the second one has been almost agonizingly slow. Not a lot of pace to it, but a lot of scoring. 3 goals here in the first 1:41 of the second quarter. 13:05 to play. The Vikings coming off their timeout, and there's still conversations going on between the officials and the coaching staffs. Carson Brzezinski still next to the scorer's table, and it's started by Barnes, and Barnes has 2 black shirts chasing him. Barnes now going to go to the side. There's a shot high by Wilkinson and wide. It's from the slot, and it'll be Sorobi to bring it back in. Over to Barnes. Valley is shorthanded. And Barnes trying to get around a double team. Does. Shoots. Oh, and that's kicked aside by Davis. And Ferrone will inbound to Wilkinson. Wilkinson bounces it. Bounce pass. The shot by Smith is saved by Davis. And here come the Braves. And it looks like the Vikings got caught a little bit in transition, but a little bit of a wild pass by Nero. And it goes wide, and the ball gets turned over to the Vikings. It was a little bit wide from Nero. It looks like he was trying to hit Damon Prince on that left side. There's a high pass just out of the reach of Prince. And it was caught by, I believe it's Legg. And Legg hands it off to Smith. Smith gets it over to Brzezinski back onto the field. Teams at even strength. To Sorobi right in front. Sorobi shoots wide. Ferrone bringing it in, trying to get around Kyle Beard. Ferrone to Wilkinson. Wilkinson shot saved by Davis. Ball's loose and goes over to Ottawa, but Wilkinson got dumped, and flags come from everywhere. And I believe Ottawa just put itself shorthanded. Kyle Beard heading to the bench area. Alex Linder heading to the bench area. And Linder going completely off, and it's Beard that took a knee in that penalty area. So a little bit of chippiness out there right now. These teams, again, did meet last year in the KCAC Conference Tournament Finals, with Missouri Valley winning it. And if things kind of hold, there's a decent chance that they may meet again in a matter of 7 days in the KCAC. And Ryan Barnes shoots and scores. So they took advantage of that man advantage opportunity, and Ryan Barnes gets his second of the game, 35th of the season, and at 11:21, It's now a 10-4 game.
Scored by number 8, Ryan Barnes.
And if these two teams do meet in the KCAC Conference Tournament Finals in a handful of days, then there's a nice way to feel out each other a little bit. But it's hard to beat a team twice. And it's amazing what you can learn about a team as Gallagher finds Smith. Brzezinski. And Davis knocked it aside. Brzezinski right on the doorstep. Brzezinski with it, and he will feed Smith. Out to Barnes. Sometimes familiarity breeds contempt, right? Wilkinson with it. And he'll drop it back for Sorobi. Sorobi leaves it. There's a shot and a score. Sorobi kind of faked a handoff to Sorobi. Sorobi went and parked himself right outside the crease. Wilkinson kept it and then fired it home. As you see on the live stream replay, Sorobi kind of dink and duck his way, but Wilkinson
Scored by number 21, Tyler.
put it in. And for Wilkinson, goal number 4 on the afternoon, and it comes at 10:39 of the second. Now the face-off, Berg wins. Berg rushing forward. Berg shoots and saved by Davis. Ferrone on the doorstep, can't control. And it's loose to the side, now taken out by Gallagher. Gallagher watched by Nero. Gallagher to Brzezinski behind the net. Out to Ferrone, up top now for Wilkinson to Barnes. And he'll get it left side for Smith. Now they'll feed it way up top to Wilkinson, who is just north of the logo. Here comes Wilkinson on his charge, and he's against Aiden Baker. Wilkinson, little spinorama, feeds Sorobi, shot, and that is in. The net never moved, but Owen Sorobi scores, and at 9:50, Owen Sorobi gets goal number 34 on the season. And it's 12-4. And a couple of times that the Braves have seemed to have had momentum, there's been the play and the Vikings have snatched it back. It's an 8-goal lead for Valley. Still more than 9.5 minutes to play here in the second quarter, as Wollenberg feeds it back to Andrew Legg. Legg leaves it for number 33. That's Austin DeGrosse. And Smith takes a hack at it. Ryan Barnes knocks over a Bennis. Barnes looking for Brzezinski. Brzezinski has it. Brzezinski's going to run that end line. Brzezinski has no one really in front, and we'll pull it back and flip it to Owen Sorobi. Sorobi will calm things down briefly. Now there's a pass that looked like that Ryan Alley was going to try to make a play on it, but didn't. Smith with it. Smith now behind the back pass to Brzezinski. Brzezinski to Wilkinson. Wilkinson. Deeks shoots. Oh, high and wide. Wilkinson got around the defender, but fired it high to the short side. Valley with it. Sorobi working toward the middle, and he's being handled by Linder. Sorobi with 3-4 black shirts, and it's going to go over to the Braves. Sorobi tried to be a one-man wrecking machine there, And came up empty as the ball is free. Here's Barnes taking it, a turnover, as it wasn't handled clearly by Abenis. Barnes waiting for some support. And he'll feed it back to Brzezinski. Brzezinski over to Smith as Valley makes some changes. Gallagher and Block head off. Ferrone and Sorobi come back on. Smith waiting. And he'll run back to the V. Give a kind word to Alex Albrecht, standing just south of the midfield line. Here's Smith. Smith shoots, didn't get there, didn't get through, deflected out in front. And here come the Braves in transition. That's Linder running alongside him, Aiden Baker. There's a pass that's high and a little bit wide. And not much Willis can do with it. Andrew Legg has it. And Legg's going to run the left side. Get a little bit of a pick from Smith, but couldn't do it. And that is out. Apparently, possession's going to stay with Valley. I'm not sure Aiden Baker necessarily agrees with it. And here come the Vikings. It's Smith to Wilkinson. Wilkinson. And still has it. To Smith. And Smith will roam behind. And that's Longley on the field now. Over to Rice. Rice to Jarris Villarreal. Villarreal to Longley. And they work it back left. Now up top to Villarreal. Longley down the Ferrone. Ferrone behind the net. That's Jack Smith. And the Vikings content to take their time with the offense. Smith tried a turnaround shot, and he got put to the turf by Alley. Vikings with it still. Here's Wilkinson. Wilkinson across. Ferrone was right there, but a wonderful save by Davis. Davis still running with it as Villarreal is trying to knock it out and eventually does. And Carson Davis is about 50 yards away from his net. Ball is still on the ground as Heinzerling trying to pick it up, can't do it. Now he kicks it away, but the Braves have it. Willis now right side waiting for some black shirts to come join the offensive zone. Good action here, 6 minutes to play in the half. Alley hands it off to Linder. Left side now for Baker. Baker gets it down low to Prince. And up to Linder, now back to Baker. Baker on Longley. And there's Willis right there, kind of giving a pick, but that's Andrew Legg. And a turnover for the Braves, and the ball goes to Valley. And here comes Brandon Rice. Rice to, mishandled by Albrecht. The ball's free. Still on the ground. Still on the ground. Everyone's doing some farming out there, trying to hoe it up. Flag comes flying out, touched by Valley, so it's going to be a penalty on the Braves, but Jack Smith shoots it home. And they're waving it off. The referee came in, did not signal goal. Smith is upset, to say the least. And the Vikings huddle up. There is no goal. It was a fantastic shot by Smith, but it doesn't amount to anything. So Ferrone next to the ref triggers it in, and Valley has it. There's a player in the Ottawa box. There's a pass to Ferrone. Ferrone dekes. Ferrone, pass to Smith behind. Here's Wilkinson. Nope, high along to Brzezinski. To Sorobi. Ferrone, back to Smith. Smith, back to Ferrone. Ferrone shoots off the post. Wilkinson fires. He is saved by Carson Davis. Good opportunities. The ball's free. No one knows it. Here's Barnes. And a whistle and a hold being called. That's Kyle Beard, by the way, that's kneeling in the penalty area. It'll be Ottawa ball. And that's Ryan Alley with it now as he moves toward the middle of the field. 4:33 to play. As Alley goes off and Linder comes on. Linder watched by Gallagher. Working right side. Gets a little bit of a screen from Scheckinger. Now running around, tries to flick something at the goal. The Gross didn't really move much. Hit off of him, and it's Valley's ball. Up high at a high pass from Heinzeling. Too tall for leg. It goes out of bounds, and Willis will bring it back in. Willis, and a whistle on the far side. And timeout called by Ottawa. A.J. Stevens wants a break, down 12-4 with just a little less than 4 minutes to play. You're watching Missouri Valley College men's lacrosse on the Viking Sports Network. .355 to play in the first half. 12-4 the lead. Colin Scheckinger has 2 of Ottawa's 4 goals, and in the course of getting those 2 goals, has doubled his output for the season. This is his 4th game. Came in with 1 goal, now has 3 on the season. So for Scheckinger, goals 2 and 3 on the year. Conversations abound. It'll be Ottawa ball with the possession starting on the near side, and that's Pearson Willis as they wait for everyone to get settled, and the whistle blows and we're off. Willis and leg there, and that's Damon Prince with it now. Prince up top, and there, thought about a shot, did Baker. But Heinzeling was there. Linder watched by Block. Now they're going to rotate. Here's a pass high for Baker. But it doesn't roll the midfield, and that pass from Willis to Baker not controlled cleanly, and that pass from DeGrosse to Albrecht also not clean. The ball still on the ground. Albrecht trying to capture it, doesn't, but Brendan Gallagher does. Barnes with it. Barnes, the middle of the field. Barnes shoots and scores. Ryan Barnes Goal number 36. And for Barnes, that is the hat trick on the day. It's now 13-4 with 2:48 to play. So there was a little bit of a scoring lull there. Goals have come in bunches in this game. There was a 7-minute and 2-second drought between goals between Sorobi's 34th and now Barnes' 36th. 13-4 is the lead for Missouri Valley. And the face-off X, there's Jake Berg winning it against Matt Chura. Berg, there's a shot by Smith high and wide. And Ferrone will go get a ball and bring it back in. Valley rotating behind the play as Wilkinson will bring it forward. Brendan Gallagher will go off. Sorobi comes on. And Ryan Barnes has it now. Barnes will bounce it in. He shoots and scores. So back-to-back goals for Ryan Barnes. And they come 28 seconds apart. That one hopped over the stick of Davis. And for Barnes, goal number 37 on the season. And it's a 14-4 game. Wollenberg now to take the face-off. As we get into the last couple of minutes of the first half. Wollenberg will head off. It'll be Ottawa ball. That's Baker with it. He's trying to run around Luke Burridge. Burridge with a couple of checks, and now Baker floats it out to Linder. Linder being watched by Heinzerling. Now left side, back up top to Willis. Willis shoots, saved by DeGrosse. DeGrosse and Jake Berg there to help him out. DeGrosse has it. And will launch it across the field. And here comes Valley with some speed to Smith. Smith shoots, oh, just wide. Smith had some mustard on it, but it went left of the goal. Kicked off the football goalpost and shot up toward the V by the Malcolm Center. Tyler Wilkinson with it. He fires it widely, and there was Brzezinski and Sorobi both in the same area. I'm not sure if they were trying to tip it in. Either way, it went out, and Valley will maintain possession. There's Smith up top. Coming down to about a minute to play as, he lost his footing there momentarily. Did Ferrone. And there's Barnes. Barnes drops it, but it's picked up by Carson Brzezinski. And whistles before the shot. And a timeout called by Missouri Valley. .50 seconds to play. It's a 14-4 game. Here on Senior Day for Missouri Valley. Again, the 4 seniors honored today. Greg Ferrone out of Orlando, Florida. Andrew Legg out of Vancouver, Washington. Brendan Gallagher out of Geneva, Illinois. And Eric Peterson out of Port Orchard, Washington. The Ottawa women's team beat the Missouri Valley College women's team earlier today, 11-7. We had that game for you earlier. For any Braves fans who are watching, that game is archived live. It's the one that says live show Procaster with today's date. That's part of the archive for Ottawa fans who like to watch that game from this morning, which was an 11-7 victory for the Braves. 14-4 here in the men's game. Goal scoring has come in spurts, and just when the Braves try to establish a little bit of momentum, the Vikings snatch it away with a flurry of goals, often in short order. It was a 5-0 game before the Braves scored a couple of man advantage goals to make it 5-2, and then the Vikings scored 3 consecutive goals in the last 1:14 of the first quarter. The Braves scored 2 of the first 3 goals inside the first 1:41 here in the second, and since then it's been 5 goals for the Vikings. 50 seconds to play, 10-goal advantage for the Vikings. The ball is in the cross of Ryan Barnes, and we're playing to Sorobi. Sorobi, left side, tries a plant, loses it, dishes it off to really no one, and it's going to be Ottawa ball. Smith was the closest person kind of in the vicinity of that pass, but the connection was not made as Linder brings it across, and he's got Barnes on him. And there's Baker. He tries bouncing one home, and a flag comes, and they're going to get Brendan Gallagher. The shot was off balance a little bit by Aiden Baker, but Gallagher, in terms of finishing the check, was kind of bowled him over, and so Brendan Gallagher is going to go off, and with 9.3 seconds to go, it'll be a Brave man advantage. And they inbound, and there's Pearson Willis with 5, with 4 up top. I'm a leg, knocks it free, and then not much happens in the last 10 seconds for the Braves. And so we've reached the half. That's a 14-4 lead for the Missouri Valley College on Senior Day. I'll be back in a few minutes with the halftime stats. You're watching Missouri Valley College men's lacrosse on the Viking Sports Network. It's a 14-4 halftime lead for the Missouri Valley College Vikings. As we'll go through the halftime stats for you. Apparently, the clarification on the events of the very beginning of the second quarter, Carson Brzezinski was flagged for an illegal stick, and the question of who had the last goal, it was Brzezinski. So I'm not sure if what they're trying to do with that, but the Brzezinski had a 1.5 minute technical for illegal stick in that second quarter. Shots, 22 in each of the first two periods for Missouri Valley, 44 shots total. The Ottawa Braves have had 8 and 5 for a total of 13. Saves by period, Ottawa 7 and 5 for 12. Valley 3 and 3 for 6. Ground balls, Ottawa 2-1 and 3. Valley 7-8 for 15 at halftime. Turnovers by period, 2 and 4 for Ottawa and for 6 total. And Valley had 1 in that second quarter for its lone turnover. In terms of face-off violations, there have been 2, both by Valley, 1 in each quarter. Face-offs, Valley is 14 of 19 on the day. Extra man opportunities, Ottawa was 2 of 3 in the first, 0 for 2 in the second, so 2 for 5 overall. Valley 1 for 1 in that second period on its lone opportunity. In terms of points, Tyler Wilkinson, 4 goals, 3 assists on 12 shots. Ryan Barnes, 4 goals, 3 assists on 8 shots. Owen Sorobi, 2 goals, 2 assists. Carson Brzezinski, 2 goals. Brendan Gallagher, 1 goal, 1 assist. An assist for Ferrone, a goal for Jack Smith, an assist for Albrecht, and an assist for Aaron Longley for the Vikings scoring for the Braves. Colin Scheckinger, 2 goals, 2 points, 3 shots. Alex Linder, a goal and an assist. Pearson Willis, a goal and an assist. And Ryan Alley has 1 assist overall. In terms of the penalty summary, Valley is basically paying rent in the penalty box. Leg went off first, then Berg, Carson Brzezinski at 2:26. Those were all first quarter penalties. Second quarter, Ottawa, Kyle Beard at 11:36. At 4:33, Ryan Barnes, and 11 seconds, Brendan Gallagher, and he will start the third quarter in the penalty area. Valley will be a man down. It's a 14-4 game. Ottawa's had 2 goals in the first, 2 goals in the second. Valley has 8 from the first and then 6 from the second quarter. As we get set to start the second half of action, I will remind you this broadcast is copyrighted by the Mass Communications Department of the Communications, Humanities, and Human Services Division of Missouri Valley College for the private use of our audience. Any retransmission without the express written consent of Missouri Valley College is prohibited. And a big thanks, as always, to Marshall, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram for providing transportation to Ken and Joe for all of the road games during football and basketball season that they do. Berg wins it, scoops it up. Dan Block didn't quite see it as the sun peeks through again. It's gotten quite cloudy there for the bulk of the first half. And did Ottawa just call timeout? Nope. So the Braves will work into the offensive end. That pass is wide, and it's a turnover, and it goes to Valley. Heinzeling to Barnes. Barnes, the middle, now goes left side. There's Owen Sorobi coming onto the field. Sorobi thought about a shot from about 15 yards out. To Ferrone, to Barnes, high and wide, and that ball skips almost to the housing across the street. Wilkinson behind the net. And a stick check you can hear from here from Sammy Ford. Wilkinson fires short side, and that goes wide. But it's going to go over to the Braves. Running left side is Ryan Alley. Ahead to Damon Prince, part of that British Columbia triumvirate they have. There's a shot. Ooh, short side. He missed it a little bit wide, and he knows it. There was an opportunity there. I think they caught DeGrosse leaning a little bit, but Alley couldn't put it home, and he gets it now behind the net, and there's Gallagher on him. Long pass over everyone, back to Linder. Over to Willis. Back to Linder. To Prince, now behind the net for Alley. Gallagher on him. To Willis, watched by Leg, and up top now to Linder. And Linder's going to work against Block. Block hacks it out, ball's free, and it's scooped up by Albrecht. Albrecht racing across. Albrecht looking for a friend, and he finds one. And that passes a shot and a score. It was a nifty little catch by Tyler Wilkinson. Cody Giles was there with him, but Tyler Wilkinson puts it home. And at 12:46, a little flip pass from Jack Smith that Wilkinson picked off the ground. And he threw it by Carson Davis. Jack Smith on the assist as our PA forgets who's who. Berg diving on the ground for it. Picked up by Barnes, and Berg is slowly getting up. There's a pass to, nice catch by Wilkinson. Wilkinson handy with that cross. Catches it, spun around and fired. And it stays with Valley. Here's Barnes. Barnes. Try that side. Ooh, a little backhand attempt. Ferrone using Barnes as a screen. May have hit Barnes in the backside, and Barnes grabbing. Yeah, I think Barnes got hit by that Ferrone shot. Baker. Oh, that pass is too tall for Alley. And here comes Andrew Legg with it. Legg got his first goal of the season last game on a handy little play that really no one saw. Here's Wilkinson. Wilkinson charging the net. Wilkinson fires, net's kicked high and wide and goes behind the net, and that's being chased down by Brzezinski. Brzezinski with it, and he flips it to Wilkinson. Wilkinson getting checked by Linder. Now here comes a second from behind. Doesn't see it. Triple team even on Wilkinson. And the Braves finally pick it up, and it's Linder feeding it to Alley. Alley's going to run, and it's a 4-on-3 opportunity. There's a shot and a good stick check by Andrew Legg on Colin Scheckinger. Otherwise, Scheckinger would have been all alone in front of Austin DeGrosse. Albrecht with it. Albrecht, a man on an island. His 3 black shirts were there, and he gets it ahead to Barnes. Barnes now will make the rush. He shoots, and it goes just wide. Ferrone will bring it in. 15-4 the score. We're about 4 minutes into the third quarter. That's Jack Smith. Smith lost a goal in that second quarter. Put it past Davis, but it was waved off. Sorobi will wait for Longley to come onto the field. Now gets it over to Barnes as Longley moves to the right side. Ferrone camped right in front. Well, here's a little give and go. Sorobi looking for a friend, doesn't find one, but Barnes is there. Fakes the shot, shoots. Oh, just wide. Smith to bring it back in. It's Abanis, Christian Abanis, with him, still with him. A little bit of a charge from number 2. I don't have on the roster. And the ball's going to go to Ottawa. There's a player running off right now with 2 on his back that's not on my roster, so my guess is as good as anyone's guess is as good as mine as to who that actually was. 3 white shirts that Baker goes flying through, but Dan Block hacks it out, and it's chipped out, and it goes over to Valley. Block ahead to Gallagher, too tall for him, and there's a whistle, and it's going to go back to Ottawa. There's a penalty on the far side. And it looks like Sorobi. Nope. Well, the flag was thrown. I guess offside was the call. Regardless, it's Damon Prince with it. Prince, too wide for Aiden Baker. Again, the threesome from British Columbia, who work, according to AJ Stevens, so well together and really the force behind the Braves scoring attack. But so far, that Braves scoring attack's been held to 4 goals as Albrecht's pass is wide and goes out of bounds, and here come the Braves. And that's Linder trying to work around Ferrone, and does, as Ferrone and Smith have to stop at the center stripe on the field. Oh, and too high for Linder. And that's kind of an unforced error for the Braves. Block scoops up a ball, and here come the Vikings to the middle. Now that's Gallagher, the senior out of Geneva. And he'll hand off to Rice, and he'll retreat and head off as Villarreal, Rice, and here comes Longley working the attack zone with Jack Smith, Greg Ferrone, and it looks like Barnes behind the net. Nope, that's Tyler Wilkinson behind the net. So playing catch up top. That's Smith to Rice, now to Villarreal. Over to Longley. Ferrone comes out from next to the net. Over to Rice, now back to Villarreal. And they've tossed it around enough, and Villarreal will charge forward. Trying to get it around alley. There's a pass to Jack Smith, who shoots and scores. Jack Smith put it in at 7:54 the third, and it's now a 16-4 game. And for Smith, that is goal number 17. That's his first tally since the first quarter, early in the first quarter. Smith had a few assists today. So Villarreal to Smith on that goal for the Vikings. And back to midfield, and Wollenberg and Burridge on top of one another. The ball goes to Valley. And there's Berg, who will rush forward. Jake Berg gets it to Greg Ferrone on the right side. Berg retreats back. Here's a wraparound attempt. He shoots and scores. Tyler Wilkinson with kind of a backhanded shot. And at 7:37, 17-4. And for Wilkinson, 6th goal of the game. And 23rd overall for the season. And this is a period that the Vikings have owned all season long in the third quarter. They have outscored their opponents in the third, and I'll get you the spread here in a second as the Vikings again on the attack, and there's Brzezinski with it. Pass loose in front. Oh, Smith didn't catch it cleanly as Longley, and there's a Brave player down about the 28 on that football field. That's Kyle Beard. The Vikings are number 1 in assists per game, number 2 in total points, number 3 in Division I in goals. So they're going to add to that total today. Ferrone with it. And Barnes has it. And there's a shot, and that's wide. And it'll be brought back by number 30, Alex Moyer, junior out of Kansas City. But it's Sorobi with it now. Oh, kind of a half pass, but Barnes gets it. Barnes to Moyer. To Smith. Smith. Oh, that pass was intercepted and picked up by Davis. Yeah, this is, I'll just call him number 2. Pass to Willis wide. And the Vikings will run with it. That's Barnes. And he finds a streaking Gallagher. Gallagher to, a shot that goes wide for Gallagher. Baker has it. Going against Barnes, a pair of 8s. Tussling. And Baker taking some shots from several players in the Vikings. But held. And they work it across, and now Linder has it. And he's being manned by Gallagher. Works around him. Here comes Legg, and a pass deflected by Gallagher. Not quite caught cleanly on a flag on the play. Burge is off. Looks like Barnes is heading to the box. And so another man advantage for the Braves. Linder to Allen. It's Prince, back to Linder. Linder scored the first goal of the game for the Braves. Prince, back Linder. Kind of diagonal pass to Willis, who was in his feet. And it gets turned over. And Heinzerling will just lob it ahead. And there's Brzezinski with it. Brzezinski, that pass is low for Wilkinson. Does a nice job of blocking it and scooping it back to Ryan Barnes, who's back on the field. a feed to Barnes over the shoulder shot that misses. Barnes being creative with it, but that goes wide, and there's 4:15 to play. Ferrone to Smith, over to Sorobi. Owen Sorobi gets it back from Barnes. And he'll rush that left side. He shoots and scores. Owen Sorobi, the junior out of Winnipeg, gets his third goal of the game, so the hat trick for Sorobi. And 35th on the season. It comes at 3:59 of the third. So Owen Sorobi continues the Viking assault. It's a 14-goal lead at this point. And Carson Davis, the brave netminder, didn't even really react. That Sorobi shot got by him that kind of quickly. So a wrist shot for Sorobi, and it got home. And there's Luke Burridge ahead now to Ferrone, celebrating senior day, to Gallagher. Gallagher's got a wide open lane. Davis is there as Gallagher gets planted. The deflection comes to Kyle Beard. A good save by Carson Davis. Ahead now to Prince. Prince fighting with Albrecht. Prince giving up a lot of size to Albrecht, and he's kicked forward, and Greg Ferrone's going to scoop it up before it goes out of bounds. And Ferrone on the charge, rushing that right side. Ferrone, a little lob to Brzezinski, who shoots and scores. "41 seconds was all it took. And Carson Brzezinski gets his second of the game. And a timeout on the field. This one has kind of gotten away from Ottawa. 19-4 with 3:18 to play. There's a timeout on the field. We'll take it with them. You're watching Missouri Valley College Men's Lacrosse on the Viking Sports Network. That's goal number 30 for Carson Brzezinski on the season. And the Vikings now with 4 30-goal scores on the year. Ferrone, who has 32 and has yet to score in this game of the 19 that are on the board. Ryan Barnes with 37 on the season. Sorobi with 35, now Brzezinski with 30. And the way Wilkinson and Smith have been firing today, there's a whole slew of scores, and 2 more flags come out as Tyler Wollenberg and Matt Chichura were in the face-off, and Chichura goes off, and he'll take a seat in the penalty area. So a man advantage for the Vikings, already up by 15 with 3:15. here in the third. Smith to Trigger, gets it to Brzezinski, now to Wilkinson, back to Brzezinski, over to Smith, now working the right side to Ferrone, over to Sorobi, to back to Smith. There's Barnes. Barnes to Wilkinson, finds Sorobi on a bounce pass through to Ferrone, who shoots just wide. Ferrone had an open shot and fired it just wide. So the ball goes to Ottawa. And there's Ryan Alley, junior out of Garnett, Kansas. And he has it, and Gallagher will chase after him. Now behind a high pass that was to really no one. The closest person was, it's like a kid with a lacrosse stick down who's shagging balls north of the end zone. Ryan Barnes with it, feeds behind Smith on the ground. Alley can't pick it up, and there's Alex Linder, who gets pushed over. That'll be Brave ball. They'll restart on the north side of the field and toward the attack area. And now there's Alley to Prince. Willis with it. Up to Linder. Alley now to Prince. Prince, thought about his shot, got around leg, and he fires it just wide for DeGrosse. It stays with the Braves. Donnie Simon on the field for the first time today, and he's out chasing after Aiden Baker. Baker thought about using a pick from Pierce. And he lobbed it up for Willis. And Pearson Willis had the ball intercepted right in front of him by Andrew Legg, and Dan blocked a shot that goes high and wide. And so the guys who generally stay on the defensive side of the 50 were a part of that rush, and it goes wide. Now they'll all retreat back, and Valley will set up its offense. Sorobi to Smith. Now Wilkinson to Barnes. Over to Owen Sorobi. Back to Barnes. Barnes working around Linder. There's a feed in the middle. There's a shot and score. Tyler Wilkinson put himself right in the slot. And Barnes found him. And Wilkinson put it home. And for Tyler Wilkinson, he's had a bushel full of goals today. Really no chance for Carson Davis. And for Wilkinson, goal number 24 now on the season. And that is goal number 7 today.
Goal scored by number 21, Tyler Wilkinson, and assisted by number 8, Ryan Barnes.
And they're looking at Wilkinson's stick right now. Checking it. And all's good. It's a 20-4 Viking lead. 19.6 seconds remain here in the third. And for Wilkinson, 7 goals. And he has a couple of assists also. Ball's free, picked up by Nero. Has it knocked free by Luke Burridge. Smith is there. Several people on the ground as we final seconds tick off here in the third quarter. A dominating performance in the third, all Missouri Valley. As we head to the fourth, it's 20-4. You're watching Missouri Valley College men's lacrosse on the Viking Sports Network. As we get set to start the fourth quarter, it's a 20-4 Viking lead. And I'll go through the third quarter stats for you as Jake Berg wins the face-off and feeds it to Jack Smith, who just drops it. Sammy Ford tried to shield Jack Smith away from it. Ball still on the ground. Everyone kind of converging for it. Berg takes a hack at it, and he gets thrown to the ground. And the Braves finally come up with it. And here's Pearson Willis with it. Sophomore attacker out of Surrey, British Columbia. And a high pass. That's caught. Here's Lindner back with it. And Dan Block stick checking him. Third period. Valley outshot Ottawa 17-2. Ground balls, Valley 6-1. Turnovers, Ottawa had 10 turnovers that period. That's a killer no matter what period it is or how close a game may be or if you're ahead. You have 10 turnovers in one period. It's a trick. As that attempt by Baker was blocked by Albrecht. Albrecht has a Baker kind of climb the ladder forward. Here's a shot by Cody Giles that goes wide. And Davis works it ahead now to Ryan Alley. And Alley's pass is to no one. So there's one of those turnovers that I talked about the Braves just really can't afford to make at any point in time, especially when you're down 16. Here's a pass, the block that kind of short hops him. It's in the air. He doesn't know where it is. Everyone kind of stood there for a second. It's kind of golfed forward by Allen. and knocked out of bounds. The ball will stay with the Braves. And another pass that hits the turf, and Nero has some issues catching it. So the play not quite as crisp right now. Here's a chance, and there's Giles that came back and knocked it free. Willis with it. And a pass that wasn't quite handled by Scheckinger. And he knows it. Good eyes, a good feed from Pearson Willis to Colin Scheckinger, who was right next to the goal. And here's now for Valley. Albrecht on the move to number 32, Brzezinski, who shoots and scores. And Carson Brzezinski with goal number 4 on the game. 31 on the season. And a good feed. And Carson Brzezinski just kind of got lost by the defense. And not a whole lot Carson Davis could do with it. And that's probably the 4th or 5th, maybe the 6th time that I've said not a whole lot Carson Davis can do with it. Davis has been kind of a man on an island for a large chunk of the time today. So 12:29 of the 4th. It's Brzezinski from Albrecht. And it's now 21-4. As Berg loses the draw on the ground. I heard a whistle, and it's going to go to Valley. And it's Dan Block with it. Block being checked by Linder. A little behind the back pass. And it's a turnover. And that's Kyle Beard racing forward with it. And now Prince has it running left side. Tries to feed across, and a good stick, or good cross by DeGrosse, who intercepted the pass. As Scheckinger was there, Barnes sheltering it. Now he'll cut behind. Here comes Barnes left side. Barnes fakes a pass, gets it to Longley, and here's Brandon Rice now. Back to Longley. To Jairus Villarreal. Villarreal almost passed it to Ryan Barnes, who was heading off. And there's Brzezinski back to Rice. And coming onto the field as Barnes headed off is Tyler Wilkinson, but it's Ferrone with it now below the goal line on the right side. Up now to the top, and Longley over to Rice. Really no one on the left side. Brzezinski's kind of pinched in the middle. And Rice will feed it to Brzezinski. To Longley. Over to Ferrone. Ferrone thought about Wilkinson behind the net. Decided otherwise, and they feed it around, and Brzezinski has it. Back to Rice. To Longley. Ferrone to Longley. And Longley will retreat to the V and start forward. Here's Longley now. Pass high, looking for Rice on the doorstep, and it missed its mark. And one ref overrules another, and the ball is going to go over to Ottawa. As Davis lofts it forward, there's Linder. Linder being, good balance by Linder. Villarreal tried pushing him out. Linder kind of tiptoed the sideline. And the Braves will set up their offense. And here's a charge and a shot and a score. They break through. It's Aiden Baker. There's a flag that came flying in right before Baker's shot. And it's the first goal since the 13-19 mark of the second quarter for the Ottawa Braves. And for Aiden Baker, goal number 29 on the season. So there's 9:53 to play. And it's a 21-5 Valley lead here on Senior Day. I mentioned that's the first goal in a long time for the Ottawa Braves. I also mentioned in the last quarter that Valley has kind of owned that third quarter. In terms of goals per period, Valley has outscored its opponents 55-10 in that third quarter. So that spread just gets widened a little bit more today. Sorobi kind of backpedaling and working his way through as Sammy Ford was defending him. Barnes to Brzezinski, and Valley's got Giles in the penalty box, so they're a little short-handed. There's Smith and Sorobi also on the field. Getting a little pick from Brzezinski is Barnes. Barnes now going 1-on-5, loses control of the ball. There's a flag and a shot that hit Davis. And they're going to call a hold. And so 3 black shirts go heading off. The hold is going to be on Xavier Nero, sophomore out of Magnolia, Texas. So here's Wilkinson to bring it in. Behind the net to Barnes, to Ferrone, to Sorobi. Now Smith. Over to Barnes, who shoots and scores. Ryan Barnes hit that far side just into the elbow. And it's now 22-5 for Barnes, goal number 38 on the season, and his 5th goal today. And with 8:42 to go, the spread is now 17 for the Vikings. Berg wins the faceoff to Smith. Smith finds Ferrone, who shoots and scores. Nice pat. Is it not a goal? The referee came in, signaled like possession for the Braves. And now there was never a signal for a goal. So there's a conversation now with the coaches and the refs. And it will be Brave ball, no goal. So Aiden Baker runs it across. And Baker flips to Linder. There's a shot saved by DeGrosse. Loose, still out in front. And Legg picks it up and he'll get it out. And here comes Wilkinson. Wilkinson being chased by Linder. Nope, sorry, that's Carson. That's Brendan Gallagher who's with it. And he finds Alex Berry right on the doorstep. He shoots it just wide. 23, not 21, right on the left side. Brendan Gallagher. And Berry, freshman from Williston, Vermont, is on the field. And it's Jack Smith with it now. Ben Boyer also on the field. First time I've seen 6 on the field today. And Smith waving people around as number 30, Alex Moyer, gets kind of moved. Smith behind. Now Smith finding a person who shoots and scores. And that's Darian Orlana. Number 24, just stepping onto the field, and he gets his first of the game. And I mentioned earlier that Kevin Totaro likes the field vision and field IQ of Jack Smith. As we watch on the replay, a nice little feed to Orlana. And Smith another assist. And it's now a 23-5 game with 7:14 to play here in the fourth. For Darian Orlana, that is his second goal of the season. And that's Luke Burridge with it. And they feed it over to number 17. 17 is Troy Benedict. And the pass too high for Barnes. And there's a moment where really no one was doing anything about the ball, just kind of trickling its way out. So Benedict is in goal now, replacing Austin DeGrosse, with the Vikings with an 18-goal lead and more than halfway through the fourth quarter. DeAndre Parks heading off, and number 41, Logan Holloman, steps onto the field. So resetting the Viking roster, I see Smith, Alex Moyer, Mel Brzezinski's heading off. It looks like Jake Berg is in the box. So that'll be shorthanded. Sorobi, Barry, Ryan Barnes, Ben Boyer. 43, Cameron Kirby on the field. Holloman, Andrew Legg, and in goal, Troy Benedict. And we're playing. Nope, not quite yet. It is Jake. Well, the Vikings have 2 in the box, and there's 1 for Ottawa. Linder around. There's Benedict. The shot saved by Benedict on that chance by Colin Scheckinger. Here's Legg. Legg got his first goal of the season last game, and a whistle and a timeout by Missouri Valley. 23-5 is the score, 6:25 to play. We're going to take it with them. You're watching Missouri Valley College Men's Lacrosse on the Viking Sports Network. It's a great day to be a Viking. If you're a fan of the Missouri Valley College men's lacrosse team, 23-5 is the score as we wind down here in the fourth quarter. Kevin Tataro using a timeout as the Vikings raced out to an early lead. The Braves chipped away at it, but just an assault of goals, especially in that third period, where the Vikings scored 6 to Ottawa's none and really separated themselves. It was the last 5 of the second quarter and all 6 of the third. So an 11-goal run to really put things away for the Vikings. There's a shot by Barnes that goes wide, tried bouncing it in. And Moyer to Barnes, out to Owen Sorobi, over to Jack Smith. Now it's Alex Berry with it. Berry's a freshman from Williston, Virginia. They get it behind the net to number 30, Alex Moyer, junior out of Kansas City. Nice to see Kansas City being pretty well represented throughout the course of the day, both on the men's and women's side in terms of lacrosse, as lacrosse really making some headway in the Midwest. It's a fantastic sport. As that pass is wide of Barnes. He let it go. Sorobi's there to pick it up. Back to Barnes as we're now nearing 5.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Barnes to Moyer. That's Greg Ferrone back on the field, celebrating senior day. Over to Sorobi. Now to Smith. And behind the goal, Moyer being harassed by Sammy Ford. Barnes with it against Linder. Gets a nice little swim move. There's Smith, a shot. That's saved by Davis. Behind the back pass from Smith to Barnes. Barnes stepped into it. Oh, a fantastic pass. Ferrone was cutting in, but Ferrone couldn't get it out of the cross cleanly. Ferrone still circling, shoots and scores. The senior from Orlando, Florida, gets his first goal of the game. And with 4:34 to play, Greg Ferrone gets goal number 33 on the season. Again, his first of the game. A number of assists for Ferrone. Through 3 quarters, Ferrone had 3 assists. And so I believe he's had one more of the fourth, but at least for a 4-point day for the senior, celebrating his last home game as a Viking. Again, Ferrone and Gallagher were part of, and Ferrone, Gallagher, Andrew Legg, all part of that core that helped build the Vikings. There's Moyer, a shot, and he scores. It hit the far post and kicked in, and Alex Moyer, the junior out of Kansas City, gets another tally for the Vikings. It's a 20-goal spread, 8 seconds elapsed between Ferrone's goal and Moyer's goal. And so for Alex Moyer, that's goal number 3 on the season. And another assist for Smith. Smith through 3 quarters he had 2 goals and 1 assist. I believe he has 3 assists this quarter. So points everywhere for the Vikings. And whistles. And that's 44, Caleb Hippenstill, with that face-off win for the Vikings. There's Smith. Smith to Ferrone. Also on the field for the Vikings, Jairus Villarreal, Ben Boyer, Alex Moyer, Alex Berry, and there's Jack Smith again. Greg Ferrone gets it low for Berry. Back to Ferrone. Ferrone to Villarreal. And Ben Boyer is in the center of the field, but Villarreal is going to feed it down low to Moyer. Over to Berry. To Ferrone. Up to Boyer. Boyer to Villarreal. Three people converge toward the center. Villarreal going to use some traffic in front. Villarreal can't get around Ryan Alley, though. And there's a shot that's saved by Davis. Smith trying to force out Christian to Bennis. Can't do it. No, Bennis just keeps it going. And he's being chased by Ferrone. Oh, pass wide for Willis. And penalty called behind the play. Looks like Jack Smith is off for a slash. So another man advantage for the Braves. But at this point, down 20, it's Academic. And there's Willis. Willis with a shot that's high and wide and is bounding its way across the street. It was just a bit outside. Willis again. Back to Linder up top. To Prince. Feeds it, and it's in the feet of Aiden Baker. Baker still really doesn't have it. And here comes Cody Giles, a freshman out of Magnolia, to kind of force the issue. Albrecht back on the field. And he's chasing Prince around. Albrecht. As Prince feeds it to Linder, over to Baker. Baker against DeAndre Parks. Here's Legg and Pearson Willis. Willis almost had it knocked free. The whistle behind the play, and it goes over to Valley. And Gallagher launches it forward, and there's Jairus Villarreal. Running with Jack Smith. Got Greg Ferrone behind him. Below the net is Alex Moyer and Alex Berry. Pair of Alexes on the field running that goal line for the Vikings. Ben Boyer with it. Now back out to Villarreal. We're coming up on 1 minute to play here in the game. Smith again directing traffic. We'll see who cuts in front this time. Smith goes left side. Finds Berry, a shot saved by Davis. Boyer picks it up and misses just wide. Boyer had a chance. The net was open, but just did miss. And Smith walking as the seconds wind off. Smith. Boy, Moyer is ready to trigger. He was asking for it. Smith being defended by Baker. Here comes Smith working toward the middle. Smith shoots, and a flag is down. Saved by Davis. But it'll be Valley ball with 22.3 to go, and changes everywhere for Both teams, Boyers heading off, Villarreal heading off. Vikings restart. That's Baker who went off with the hold. And a shot from Brendan Gallagher goes high and wide. 13 and a half remaining. It's a 25-5 game. Sorobi to Smith. Shoots, saved by Davis. Long outlet pass that bounces, and well, Benedict had it, and he's going to shoot it. And the two goalkeepers play catch. And that's the final. 25-5 is the score on senior day. So Greg Ferrone, Andrew Legg, Brendan Gallagher, and Eric Peterson walk off Greg Mitchell Field as winners. All right, we'll have stats. We'll come back in just a moment to wrap things up. You're watching Missouri Valley College men's lacrosse on the Viking Sports Network. So the final numbers from Missouri Valley College is the Vikings win 25-5. The shots, 75 shots in the game for the Missouri Valley, outshooting the Braves 75-19. Ground balls by period, the Vikings end up with 26 to Ottawa's 5. Ottawa made 19 saves to Valley 7. Turnovers by period, the Braves had 15 second half turnovers, 21 on the game. Valley only had 2. And so a big difference there. Face-offs, Valley won 26, lost 7. In terms of clears, Ottawa 7 of 8, and Missouri Valley was 4 for 4. Extra man opportunities, Ottawa ended up being 2 of 10. Valley was 1 for 3. Scoring totals, Greg Ferrone, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points total. Dan Block had an assist. Tyler Wilkinson, 7 goals, 3 assists, a double-digit point game for the freshman from Driftwood, Texas. What a career he's going to have here at Missouri Valley. Jack Smith, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. Brendan Gallagher, the senior out of Geneva, Illinois, had a goal and an assist for 2 points. Alex Albrecht, 2 assists from his defensive position. Ryan Barnes, 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 total points, took 15 shots. Jairus Villarreal, an assist. Darian Orellana, a goal. Alex Moyer, a goal. Carson Brzezinski, 4 goals. Aaron Longley, an assist. And Owen Sorobi, 3 goals, 2 assists. I missed Jack Smith, 2 goals, 4 assists, and 6 points. 13 total shots for Ottawa. Colin Scheckinger, 2 goals for 2 points. Alex Linder, a goal and assist. Willis Pearson, a goal and an assist. Aiden Baker, a goal. And Ryan Alley, an assist. For the goaltenders, Austin DeGrosse made 6 saves. Troy Benedict made 1. Carson Davis made 19 in the loss. So the final score here from Senior Day, 25-5, the Vikings say farewell to Greg Ferrone, Andrew Legg, Brendan Gallagher, and Eric Peterson. This broadcast was copyrighted by the Mass Communications Department of the Humanities and the Division of Communications, Humanities, and Human Services for the private use of our audience. A retransmission or use of the content without the express written Missouri Valley College is prohibited. Big thanks to Marshall Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram for providing our road transportation for football and basketball. It's been a fantastic season. Thank you very much to our student crew, our award-winning student crew. The crew just won the Missouri Broadcast Educators Association Award for its production of the telecast. This is our final one of the season. We will stream graduation. For those of you who are watching and cannot make the trip in a couple of weeks, graduation will be streamed, but this is our final sporting event of the season. Big thanks to my crew, directed today by Jimena Padilla, with Mateus Marino on graphics, Juliana Doyle, and Beatrice Salas on camera. Our final score, 25-5. Thank you very much. Have a great and happy Easter. Good night from Missouri Valley.